Reddit. What is your got caught doing the naughty story? Story 1. When I was 11, my mother always enters my room without knocking. I have said, please knock before you enter. I always get jump scared when you don't knock. One day, I had enough. I acted as if I was in the middle of the act. My mother entered and was like, oh my god, sorry. I stood up and said, for what? She just laughed for a few minutes and then left. She knocked on the door for a while before she went back to knocking. Not really in the naughty, but pseudo naughty. Story 2. When I was 15, I read I read that the inside of the banana feels very similar to the inside of a vagina. I crafted my masterpiece, this makeshift bananussi, and take it down to our half basement when the computer is at. Midway through absolutely going on down on this banana, I hear a bang on the window above me and see feet start running. Turns out, my best friend decided to come by to hang out, but so I was busy and ran. Told me the next day they hoped I didn't pack a banana for lunch. Story 3. When I was about 11, I technically got caught mashing my meat to SpongeBob. Back then, I would jerk off to those top celebrity Beachbody compilations on VH1 or whatever. But they had commercials, and I wasn't hanging around for that. So I would switch to another channel during the breaks, but sort of keep things going. Anyway, the result of this was that my older brother walked in on me, and I had just switched to Nickelodeon. I will never forget him saying, to SpongeBob? And leaving the room dying of laughter. Story 4. Okay, so this was in university, so I wasn't new to jerking it by any means. But I was taking a class called apiculture, which is the study of bees and pollinators. Anyway, one afternoon, I was going at it by myself in my room at the place I was renting. It's an older house, so the doors had no locks. My roommate knocks on my door right around the time I was almost done with my task, and he said, "Hey, what you doing?" I just say, "Reading my B-book." Then he just opens the door, and I'm standing up, facing my computer with my junk in my hand, just giving, uh. Then I yelled, "Get out! I'm reading my B-book." He slams the door and walked away. From then on, the slang term was reading my B-book. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me. Story 5. When I was young, I was curious about the badonkers. So I opened MSN search and searched boobs. A message comes up saying the search was blocked, so I decided that this meant I was going to get arrested. In tears, I told my parents what I had done, but to save myself from embarrassment, I pretended I just misspelled Pokemon. Yeah, in hindsight, they probably didn't believe me. Story 6. Not me, but a good one nonetheless. My wife told me her best friend wanted to invite everyone over to her new pool. We packed up the kids and head on over where there are about 5 to 6 couples and about a dozen kids or so. The husband of said friend stated to everyone that unfortunately he had to leave early, as he was on call, he was a utility guy, and he was going into the shower. In about 10 minutes or so, the lovely summer vibe music over the Bluetooth speaker turned to something more, um, let's say aggressive, shall we? It was essentially the sounds of slapping, sucking, and potty talk. That's the first thing that someone said because kids. And then my wife's friend bolted towards the house to end the noises that all the kids and flotation devices were asking, "What is that?" So, in summary, he does not get to select the music anymore for parties. Story 7. When I was in college, I had two roommates and a long distance boyfriend. I was doing FaceTime, that, with my boyfriend, and my roommates walked in on us. Full coochie out, no blanket to cover up. Story 8. Searched Heidi Klum nude, Heidi Klum badonkers, Heidi Klum badonkers version 2, Heidi Klum naked on my aunt's computer when I was babysitting younger cousins. They printed the search history out and we had a uncle, aunt, mom, dad, and 12-year-old me meeting to go over the search history and the dangers of pornography. There were way more searches than that, but those are the ones I remember. Love you, Heidi. Story 9. First time I was ever caught was by my older sister. She usually knocks before opening. Guess she forgot I was 14 or something. Barged in while I'm in the middle of it. All I heard, I was facing away from the door, was a, "Hey, whoa." Door slams shut. "Dad," my name, "needs a freaking lock." To which he yells back, "That's why you knock." Sister's name. Story 10. Too many to count, honestly. But my favorite one was probably when I was around 15 years old. Family computer was in the front room. It was after school, and my parents were in their own rooms. I figured a quick stroke to relieve some teenage angst wouldn't take that long. My mom came out unexpectedly, and I tried to shut it down and pull pens up in one swift motion. The computer was old and slow, so it took a second for the page to close. So she definitely saw what I was seeing for a brief second. That Christmas, I got a laptop for a present. Story 11. I was at a friend's house a few weeks ago, hanging out with her and her boyfriend. After a late night movie, they retired to her room, while I stayed in the living room to sleep on the couch. After they had gone for a while, I figured it was safe to rub one out. I heard a quiet sound a few minutes into my furious rubbing. I opened my eyes to see her Furbo pet camera was on, maybe 3 feet away, and was activated by my movements. It is tied to her phone directly, so there was also a notification. I looked directly at it, then tried to pretend I wasn't doing that. So yeah, I was accidentally a cam girl for my friends. Lol. Story 12. Got caught after the fact. I was in my early teens when I discovered the joy of jacking. Then my mind was truly blown when I discovered I could beat it up in the shower. After the first week or so of just carelessly painting the wall of the showers with my baby batter, my dad comes into my room and says, "If you're going to blow your nose in the shower, make sure it goes down the drain." I scratched my head, and with a confused look, I responded, "I don't blow my nose in the shower." To which my dad responded, "Just make sure it goes down the drain." Story 13. I got caught jerking off at the family computer at age 13 by my stepdad. His reaction was to get super angry, unplug the computer, and call my dad. Upon calling my dad and ratting me out, his face changed pretty abruptly from anger to a frown. He passed me the phone, and my dad said, "I told him to leave you alone. From now on, jerk off in your room." My dad gave me a brown paper bag the next time he was in town. It had a perfect tan maggot in it. Best bro dad ever. Story 14. Oh boy, I got a good one. So, in New Jersey, you had to pass this test called the HSPA in order to graduate high school. So during the ninth and 10th grade, you took a practice version. I took my practice freshman year and we didn't get the grades back until the following year. Coincidentally, it coincided with a parent-teacher conference. That did not exactly make me look like a model student, due to my marks being in the ditches. My parents' response to this was simple, yet effective. I was grounded until I passed the real test. Now, this meant no video games, TV, cell phone, hanging out with friends, etc. Now, the grounding itself really only lasted a year, but my parents said that I had become such a productive member of the family that even when I got my grades up, I was still not allowed to play video games or use a computer, nor have a lock on my bedroom door until I moved out. So, after I passed the stupid test, I actually did pretty good. I was allowed all my privileges back, except no lock on your door. Now, my father really wasn't keen on the whole no lock thing, but my mother was extremely strong willed, and my father didn't feel like being a soldier all day and then coming home just to go to war with my mother again. They're now happily divorced and remarried, and in wonderful relationships. I'm very happy for both of them. But one day, I was enjoying myself when I heard the front door of the house open. I freaked the hell out because I heard my dad drop his keys in the plastic bowl next to our front door, and I knew he would be coming straight to my room to chat. I really miss the day where we would live together and got to hang out so much. I jumped out of my desk chair, ran to the door, and threw my entire weight against it as he was opening it. Now, mind you, my computer is directly in front of my door, and had he opened the door, he would have seen the incredibly weird fetish porn I was looking at. He asked me to open the door, and I just kept yelling, "Father, I am in a state of undress." I have no idea why the fuck my brain chose those words to come out because I have never called him father in my life, nor do I speak like a weird Victorian era child. After the second or third time I yelled it through the door, he walked away and I quickly dressed myself and yanked the power cord out of the back of the PC. Perhaps a slight overreaction. A moment later, he knocked on my door and said, "Son, are you still in a state of undress?" Then laughed hysterically and cracked the door open enough to throw a doorknob with lock through the cracked door onto my bedside table and said, "For whenever you feel like being in a state of undress, you might need this, son." He then laughed and walked away. I'm pretty sure I put the new doorknob on and cracked out like 4 loads over the course of the next 20 minutes. It was an amazing day. Story 15. When I was around 14 years old, at night around 11 p.m., I put my pee-pee in my bed between the mattress and I was thrusting my bed cause I was mad horny. Then I thrusted my bed a little too hard and a little too fast that the skin on my pee-pee ripped. It was immensely painful. The tip started bleeding like mad, so I grabbed it and tried walking quietly to the bathroom. In the bathroom, I am holding my bleeding pee-pee in my hand, trying to wipe all the blood off of it. Then, to my surprise, my mom was behind me, and she saw me by the toilet holding my Johnson while it is pouring blood. She asked me, "What are you doing?" My monkey brain quickly thought of a response, and I said, "I'm just masturbating," as I was holding this bleeding pee-pee. And then I closed the door. We haven't ever talked about it. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching the entire video. I hope you're having a good day or a good night. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.